Everyone, Mr. Happy here. In this video, we're going to be checking out the preliminary 6.0 patch notes. Now, we are getting this a day before the servers go down, which means if you need to change your logout location, this will have the information you need for the most part. As a reminder that for the preliminary notes, there are no job changes here. They will hopefully be in the full notes, which should be when the servers go down. So we get another patch note reading tomorrow, I suppose. Also, other reminders that normal mode Pandemonium is at 6.01 and that the Excitotron 6000 and Pandemonium Savage are in 6.05. New PvP mode is 6.1 or later, as well as the ability to actually buy houses in the new housing area. There's a lot of stuff that you've seen in live letters that are not in these patch notes, that are not in the initial 6.0 launch. So if you haven't been paying attention to everything, there's your reminder. They also have a link to early access details, making sure you put your pre-order code in, making sure you understand that you have to put in the full code on Tuesday in order to continue past, I guess the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, I guess past the 10th, you would need to have the full code in. Now, for the most part, these are pretty standard patch notes because they try to keep things relatively spoiler-free. They show us screenshots of the city-states that we've already seen and had videos and walkthroughs of Old Charlian, Rad's at Hand, Labyrinthos, Thavnair, Garlemald, and Mare Lamentorum. It's still crazy to me that they've shown us the surface and that these structures in Mare Lamentorum, because there's two zones, one that kind of looks like a floating set of islands and one completely unknown zone. But the fact that they're willing to show us this, which shows us Asian or I guess ancient technology, those are all ways that they create constructs, is kind of nutty to me that we've seen this. I don't know, maybe it's just because they figured, well, we can't hide that we're going to the moon, so. But there's more spoilers that they're keeping from the other areas overall. They could have at least included a screenshot of the floating islands, because the White Mage part of the job action trailer is on the floating islands. So, I don't know, maybe they just didn't want to. New City and Field Aetherites, just showing off some of the cool looking ones, the Charlian one, the Garlean one that we have right there. They're reducing the number of ether currents in all the old expansions and changing some of the locations. The locks, probably one of the big offenders of this. So it'll be quicker to unlock flying in the old areas. Nothing fancy, but that's about it. Now for the main scenario section, they actually don't tell us where it's starting, but there's a 99% chance that it's starting in the Rising Stones. This is just a reminder not to be a dingus about spoilers, to no one's surprise. I bet you the people who would be dinguses didn't read this section. And then just a few screenshots because they don't want any form of spoilers. Really nice one of Estinian we have right here. New side story quests. This is basically the same as the Shadowbringers ones. They'll sync to your level and give you difficulty and EXP adjustments based on your level within the 80 to 90 range. And then a quick screenshot here of an Aura girl who is apparently not getting along with that Matanga. And then we have role quests, and it looks like our role quests will be dealing with NPCs and Grand Company leaders more so, or city-state leaders. Because we have Hien here alongside Ugiri, and we have Khan Isena here. So it looks like we will be, Raoban, and maybe Lise even will make some form of return. I guess it's a big question, though. Maybe it's not all city-state leaders, and it's just they showed us these two. And maybe they're just part of the quests and not actually the most central characters. But I've seen people requesting that the Grand Company leaders be where we do our role quests, or at least be involved in our role quests, and it looks like they might be getting exactly what they want. Then we have, the start locations, all in Rad's at Hand, just at the various delegates. So you can see here, Gridanian delegate for tanks, which means that she might actually be part of the tank thing, which wouldn't be too surprising. The tanks and the healers tend to have interchangeable functionality because the tanks protect the healers in their quests, and the healers tend to heal the tanks in their quests. So maybe. Limsalo Minsa for melee DPS, Doman for physical range DPS, magical range Ishgard, and healer Alamigan. So it might follow more that line. And then there's also, in future updates, going to be additional quests if you complete all of these quests and the main scenario. So I'm going to make sure I get on that because the combined role quests for Shadowbringers were very nice. Studium Deliveries, this is the same as the Crystalline Mean. You'll be able to do specific quests at specific level ranges, big one-time EXP rewards depending on which faculty you're actually participating in. Oh, would you look at that? My cats are starting to cause trouble in the middle of the recording. I saw this coming a mile away. Ivy, you can open the door. You can do it. Or you cannot do it. That's fine. Okay, I'll be over there in a minute. And then these are all the different quests that you'll have. The initial unlock and then all the different faculties for the different schools. You can see they're broken down into different categories, so you get a little bit of a boost for a vast majority of your crafting. Ivy, I'll open the door. Hey, watch out. Okay. Cats, am I right? Come on, you can go. I can't really do much of the recording while the door is open, Ivy. Come on. This is all staying in. Come on, you can do it. Go. Come on, you wanted it. All right, I'm going to continue the recording then. I'm just going to lower my volume since my door is now open while I wait for my cat to exit stage left. Instance battles will now display character portraits alongside the battle dialogue widget. Okay. I guess that's just for 6.0 stuff. Oh, I wonder if that's for the instances where they're following us. I wonder. That makes sense. I suppose to let you know which characters in it. Have you left? Oh, there she goes. Hold on. No, come on. You can do it, Ivy. Come on. When viewing cutscenes in the Unending Journey, will require players to change to the... Oh, but I liked doing my tank. I liked looking at the tank ones while I was on a healer. It made things funny. Ivy, you wanted the door open. No, don't meow at me. Hey, you're making this much more difficult, Ivy. You were in a nice, comfy spot. Now you're causing chaos. Okay? Here's what's gonna happen. All right. You want to read with me? There you go. Okay. There you go. Hey, there you go. All right. Your paw's stuck in my shirt, please. I can't scroll down, Ivy. You're making it difficult. New tradecraft. That plan did not work at all. Ivy, what do you want? It's not the time, Ivy. New tradecraft and fieldcraft leaves have been added. Okay, that's not a surprise. And then these are the adjustments they're making. If you try to do the old ones over level 80, this is something they do every expansion. Their EXP gets capped out at a very low value. These are the guild changes they mentioned they were making. So a bunch of people farm leave quests for Gil right now. They're not going to be able to do that. They're reducing all the Gil rewards for the various ones that people tend to abuse, but they're more so equalizing them. So there's changes that are being made to the ones that are less popular and changes that are being made to the ones that are more popular. And on top of that, there is the actual downscaling of in-game values. So bear in mind that no matter what, the rewards are going to look pretty significantly different. Ivy, I just okay, she got out. There we go. That's better. She went back to the door. Okay, so one cat down. One to go, as you can see in the corner over here. Number of fish required for completion has been increased for spearfishing. Okay, new fates, and these will still use gemstones. It would appear bicolor gemstones in particular. So if you have those left over, then it would appear that those will still be effective. These just say, yeah, bicolor gemstones. Yeah, that was true in the media tour. Those were worth bicolor gemstones still. So if you want to take a day and farm up some bicolors before this comes out, might benefit you if you want to buy like a riding map before you get flying or anything like that. The new treasure maps are Almasty and Kumbira skins. So those will be the solo and group treasure maps that we'll be using. The group ones being, of course, for the Excitatron after 6.05. And then these are just the normal changes. Rewards being adjusted for the old things and Tomestone changes for all the old ones. The old ones being level capped at 80. The Shadowbringers ones in particular. So there's that as well. Additional items expected for supply and provisioning. It says it's a 6.0 change, so that's just like level 80 and above items to get you up to level 90. Reaper and Sage symbols added to the company crest. New craftable items from the company workshop. And a big change, the weakness timer reducing free company actions are being changed to movement speed or sprint duration while in city states. So no more having an edge in hardcore content because you have back on your feet. Instead, you can run really fast for longer in city states, should you so desire. Housing, they added the Imperium. There's no housing here until patch 6.1, but you can go, scout it out, visit it, see if it's a place you even want to move before it actually happens in 6.1. However, they are also making an early change, no longer possible to relocate plots of land that are not yet ready for purchase, so no relocators stealing the house that you are looking for if you decide to buy a house before patch 6.1. The Furnishing Design Contest items being added into the game from 2017 and 2019, it looks like. So you can see we got a few things right there. Nice. Other new furnishings being added. Looking like a proper living room and music room we got right here. A xylophone, one of my favorites. Crafting facilities can now be used for crafting classes up to level 80. Sweet. Level 90 striking dummies. Cool. New Orchestrion rolls. New aquarium fish. Fish can now be separated into tabs according to size for the aquarium fish window. And there are a lot of actual UI changes that we're going to see in a little bit. New seed for flower pots. Every time I always kind of chuckle at this because I always forget this is even a thing. Now the other cat is trying to leave, by the way. And there he goes. Let's close the door one more time. I hope that they do not come back for the remainder of the patch note reading. Thank you very much, Cat Toes. Let's move on with our day. New prizes available for MGP, as you can see right here. So those of you who've been saving up, you got something to buy right away. New cards, new NPCs, and triple triad matches in new areas. Makes sense given that there are, it's a new expansion, so those things are obvious. Male Vieira can now be selected when creating a character. Keep in mind this does not require Endwalker. It requires Shadowbringers, however. So if you don't have Endwalker for some reason, you can still do this, but from this point on, you won't be able to buy Shadowbringers standalone, so you'll have Endwalker no matter what. I feel like it's just worth mentioning. So, male bunny boys, the new hairstyles for female Vieira. We are going to be seeing more hairstyles for Hrothgar as well. Those are going to be coming a little bit later down the line. The stubble, if you're a male Midlander Hure, you finally got the Derplander stubble. Let's see how many people swap over to Midlander just to get the stubble at this point. Trust stuff, Estinian is now there. The character level cap for the avatars has been increased. The requirements for unlocking scenario mode have been removed. Avatar and scenario will both be available after completing the main scenario quest Shadowbringers. All right. And the amount of experience required for avatars has been reduced in accordance to the downscaling. So it just means that they're bringing the amount of EXP they need in line like they are with us. That does mean that if they are partway through, because the database must be overridden, any experience points accumulated between levels prior will be reset. So it looks like even the trusts will be getting that little EXP reset. So if they're like level 78 and a half, they'll go down to 78 flat and they'll lose the half a level. So bear that in mind as well. Wonder Tales changes, these are pretty standard. They just changed the prizes available for certificates. And because we have the new expansion, they added a bunch of potential things that can pop up in there. All the old extreme trials pretty much, and the tower at Paradigm's Breach, along with level 81 to 90 dungeons. That's a whole category, by the way, not individual dungeons. Endwalker entries for the sightseeing log. The challenge log has some new changes as well. Mostly seem to be based around some of the gathering changes that have happened because of the way that HQ stuff is changing, or specifically with fish, I should say, and gathering. They made sure to make changes to that. And then also give them what they want, 5 and 10 supply and provisioning missions. Cool. And the following categories were removed altogether. These are the old ones that we had, and they've been replaced with these. Skywatcher NPCs added to new areas. Also, note says new areas, but it also says a 2.0 change is present here, so that's interesting. Everything's had its level cap raised to 90. Reaper and Sage have been added to the game. And here we have the unlocked locations for Reaper. It is in Ul'dah, the Steppes of Nald, from the Flustered Attendant. I'll be making a video on these two locations later, so people have exact visual representations. And because I know a lot of people don't actually watch this video or read the patch notes themselves. And Sage is going to be over in Limsalo Minsa at the lower decks at X94, Y129 from the Charlene Maiden. Gear has been added to a bunch of stuff for these, but they cannot be used in the Hall of the Novice. They don't receive first-time bonuses from guild hests. That's been a thing for all the jobs. Reminder again that the job actions won't be until the full notes. So when the servers go down, we should have job action changes. So we'll have to make something separate for that. Actions and traits have been adjusted. Sick has been removed from pet actions. Time frame. So this is a big one. For those who don't know, combos now last 30 seconds. So that means if there are slightly extended downtimes, or if there are skills that you can use at range, they are now, as long as you're not going to clip a GCD going back in, far more useful. So there's a lot of rotations that have been worked around from the Media Tour, from what we knew from the Media Tour, that make use of the fact that there is this 30-second delay in order to start a combo, get just what you need, and then finish the combo a bit later on. So you're going to be seeing a lot of gameplay adjustments because of this. Very, very important change. Another very important change, limit breaks no longer cancel action combos. Oh my goodness, that is way overdue. And also, the healer limit break range, 50 yalms, way overdue. Now we just need it so paladin spells don't interrupt their combos, because that's the one remaining thing that still seemed to have stuck from the Media Tour. Maybe we'll get lucky, and in the full notes they'll say something about that. All things have been downscaled. This is the stat squish. I'm not going to go into any more detail. They're also making a bunch of changes so that it's clearer, like every job's kind of power progression. So like weapon damage will be brought in line with each other. It looks like determination's being buffed also, both at the low levels and the current level. So I wonder if that will unseat crit or direct hit in any capacity. It might make looking at determination and crit and direct hit tiers a little more important for those who really like the min-max. But I'm always skeptical about any change that doesn't knock crit down and instead tries to bring something else up. We'll see. At the very least, it'll just make determination a slightly more valuable stat, especially for jobs that maybe just can't get the good itemization for a particular tier. Especially on jobs like healers or something, because they're like healers and tanks, they all meld direct hit. I wonder if it'll go the other way or if this is enough, but I'm so skeptical about that, you know. Effect of certain monster and NPCs have been adjusted. That means the visual effects, I'm assuming. Also adjusted due to downscaling experience points. You're not weaker. You don't need the less. It's just numbers. Numbers are changing. That's it. But bear in mind that change where if you're partway through a level, you'll be reset to 0% through that level. That's still a big thing. Something I've been telling people for months, Armory Bonus likely to be buffed from 100% to 50, or from 50% to 100%. For level 80 and below, this will very much help you if you're leveling Reaper or Sage, whether you're doing it in Bozja or in dungeons. This is going to be a bonus that you will receive pretty much universally between those two jobs. Between those two jobs and anything from anything below level 80. True Self has been changed to Indomitable Spirit. Oh, is this for the easy and very easy quests that like if you mess up MSQ? Okay, I forgot that those even existed. The New World and Preferred World character bonuses now apply to level 79 and below, so even more levels covered in that. New enemies have been added. Looks like Gumby mated with a Cactar, and we got a bomb. Like it's got a fuse at the top too. So I don't know what this thing is. But that's a Gumby Cactar as far as I'm concerned. It's something, man. And then that is the best boy in disguise, because you look at the top half and you're like, I want to pet it, and then you look at the bottom half and you want it to get away from you. So we got some interesting designs here. New dungeons, just these are all screenshots we've seen a million times before. Experience points from dungeon enemies are now being adjusted to the bosses, so you really need to kill bosses to get EXP in dungeons now. Just killing the monsters is not going to yield you anything. They're making treasure coffers for these low-level dungeons, and then they just drop average item level of this. Well, the item from the coffers has been adjusted, so now these drop specific item levels, I guess, to bring them... I don't know. Why are they... why is this here? Player with the average item level? Oh, I guess the actual required item level for it is now the item level it drops, according to this. Required average item level. Yeah, okay. That's fine. That makes sense. In accordance with the increased level cap, players can now gain experience from level 80 dungeon jobs. The EXP from that stuff is usually terrible if it's not part of a roulette, so it's not going to really matter too much. But it's nice for people who come later and want to get like partway to 90 while they're finishing up Shadowbringer's MSQ. New trials. Oh, dude, the hidden trial. Dude, I've been looking forward to that one for so long. They added a visual indicator for Rathalos' tail breaking in the Great Hunt and Great Hunt Extreme. Okay. Unreal Trials won't be back till 6.1. I have not missed a single week of Unreal Trials. It's been good, and I'll see you when you get new rewards in 6.1. I got myself like 800 Fox leaves saved up, or faux leaves, if you will. Weapon coffers have been added to pretty much everything across the board that had weapons before all the trials. They mentioned this in an interview I did, so we kind of knew this was coming. Just because even with the totems, even with the flat drop, it's still annoying because like I want to save totems for a mount, and then so I'm like, oh, let me try to get the weapon drop, and then I take however many attempts to get the weapon drop, and then that doesn't go. So basically getting your weapon from these will be very, very easy, because this should, I think this is going to be something that we see continuing. It could also just be something they're doing to the old ones. Maybe they don't do this to the new ones because they want you to have that kind of reason to repeat it over and over again. But adding it to old ones for people who want a specific weapon or want a desynth or things like that, yeah, they might keep it to that, because it makes no mention of doing this for the new stuff. This is all old stuff that's listed here. Items yielded from these duties have been adjusted, more likely to yield primal weapon Swords are now more likely, and shields will no longer. Okay, that makes sense. Gear obtained from treasure coffers in the following duties has been changed to gear coffers. Okay, I remember them mentioning they were going to do that. Echo has been buffed in Cloud Deck and Cloud Deck Extreme, and Eden's Promise Savage. There's a Stone Sky Sea for level 90 stuff, so bear that in mind. That's the hardy-looking Radiant at Rads at Hand. Weekly restriction on receiving Stellar Clusters from Tower of Paradigm's Breach has been removed. Honestly, forgot it was even there. New elite marks. Oh, good. Now we have, it's another, that's, I don't even, okay, that thing ain't a cactar anymore. That thing's fabulous is what it is. And we got the, I like how these don't interest me at all. I'm like a mechanical monkey and this guy again. I'm sick of this thing. I remember you from Stormblood, buddy. And then we have this, which it looks like it's got the adornments, like ancient adornments on its head. But this is, oh boy, this thing in particular interests me the most. It did before, and it still does now. There are now regular and elite marks in new areas. For the bills themselves, you need to make sure you're done with all the old bill stuff, and then an old Charlie and the diminutive Gleaner will get you to the next part. And it looks like it will still be using Sacks of Nuts, so people have been wondering that as well. Reapers and Sages arms now available from Deep Dungeons. Dude, people kept telling me, I don't know, man. I don't know if they're going to do it. I'm like, of course they're going to give them Deep Dungeon weapons. So if you saved up Deep Dungeon, if you saved up the tokens from trading in the 10 arm and armor, then you're good. Look, you'll get the weapons that you wanted from this, and hopefully they look pretty cool. I mean, at the end of the day, for the Reaper weapons, they're scythes. Like, of course they're going to be cool, obviously. But I had so many people like saying, I don't know, man, they're level 70 and that content is not for level 70 and above. And I'm like, stop. You're out of control. Stop being, they're going to have it. Trust me. Players can now sort of adventure lists by class, job, and undertaking duties in exploration content. Cool. Error message when attempting to use return has been adjusted. A confirmation prompt will now display when attempting to abandon. Oh, so they're making sure people don't use return and then accidentally abandon them. Yeah, that's probably a pretty good change. Delubrum changes. Okay, they did what I said that they were probably going to do. Set a maximum waiting time, and if you have less than 24, give you the... It's literally, I predicted that word for word. So, I would also like it to be changed to maybe give experience once a day or once a week or something. I understand you need to be level 80 to do Delubrum, but I think that with how much the other things are used for leveling from 71 to 80, it'd be nice if they adjusted this to be queuable at 71. And then make it just like a daily thing where you could get like a boosted EXP from doing it, just to encourage people to get in there. But this means that if you're late to doing the quests themselves, that you'll probably be okay. It also means that my solo is probably going to be very easy, because I tried soloing Delubrum normal before, but the first boss had a split damage AoE that made it really tough. This means it's probably going to be very, very easy now, if I had to guess. It also means it's going to be very tough. Oh no, maybe if I still just pre-queue with 24 people. Yeah, that should work. The new tomestones, these are the uncapped tomestones. You can earn as much of these as you want. The capped tomestones will not be in until Savage is released. This is just a reminder of all the tomestone changes they're making, all the old stuff being removed and exchangeable for tomestones of Poetics, or being permanently removed like Phantasmagoria, because it's very old at this point. And then they have all the information on that here. In case you couldn't read this, it's now also written down here. Undersized changes have been made. It's now called an unrestricted party. And some instances with unrestricted parties will get the Epic Echo effect in order to maintain the encounter's proper unsynced difficulty. Basically, they were concerned that... I need to take a sip of coffee. They were concerned that some instances might be harder unsynced because of the downscaling values. Epic Echo is supposed to level that out, so it'll still be a joke, basically. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Let me take a sip of coffee. Haven't had any coffee yet this morning. Had to have that. So, also, 5.x duties can be unrestricted. I mean, we saw that one coming. Raid Finder now may list trials and duties introduced with 6.0, except for ultimates, which will always be in the Raid Finder, as expected. They really need to come up with a better name for this. Hey, duty roulette 50, 60, 70 is now 50, 60, 70, 80. It's like, God, they gotta come up with a better name for these things, man. We can't just keep adding to this another like section, just more tech. Why can't it say they don't want to say 50 to 80 because then it implies it's everything between 50 to 80. But it could be like X0 roulette, but then they might be worried people don't understand. It's gonna get more and more ridiculous. Oh, man. These are the Tomestone changes from all the roulettes, aphorism, poetics, aphorism. Just so you guys know, you'll be seeing this exact part in patch notes in 4 weeks. Because when they go to release Savage, they're going to have this because they have to add the capped Tomestone. So this exact change, you're going to see again, but this time updated for the capped Tomestone when Savage is coming out. Downscaled Chocobo Companion EXP, just to bring it in parity with everything else. PvP actions for Reaper and Sage have been added, but they're not going to do that here. Season 20 will end, and the preseason will begin. The final preseason. There's no season for the Feast in 6.0, but it's the final preseason. It's the final attempt to actually even play the Feast, probably ever. Because once Crystal Conflict comes out in 6.1 and Season 21 actually begins, then, you know, that'll be it. New items have been added, as you can see. Got this little fancy little slider, but they're not going to list all the items here because there's too many. New recipes, certain recipes now with quick synthesis. Certain items can be sold, desynthesized, submitted for experts. They increased the amount of main and ring slots in our armory chest. We knew they were doing that because they're, getting rid of belts. The description for items that increase experience points has been adjusted. Increases EXP earned by 30%. So this is still, so no changes have been made to the effect. Unfortunately, this makes this item a bit more disingenuous. It makes all of them more disingenuous because you don't get an EXP increase from every activity, and this now reads like that, but they've confirmed right here that that's not the case. So it's a little weird that they decided to make the change. Yes, it looks nicer. Yes, it's a little cleaner, but it's also dishonest now because you do not just get 30% more EXP. You still only get them from sources that these items apply to, which is normally killing monsters. So I don't know. I'm indifferent about the change. I think it's going to confuse people even a little bit more. Reaper and Sage have been required, set as required jobs for certain gear. Gear for Reaper and Sage can be obtained from Granault in the Tempest. Cool. All right. I don't know why I never even thought of that as a thing, but all right. They got level 80 artifacts. All right, cool. I like it. Makes sense because you could do MSQ with them through Shadowbringers, but I don't know why. I just didn't think of it. Yeah, cool. I like it. Sale prices of certain items have changed. Following items have been changed. Just changed the names of these. Okay, that's it. Following items are no longer classified as unique. All of the Crypt Lurker accessories, all the accessories really, but the Crypt Lurker ones are no longer unique. Means you can have more than one. New system has been added, allowing players to dye artifact gear after progressing to a certain point in role quests and the main area. That says it's a 6.0 change, so I'm assuming this is their solution to dyeable artifact gear just for our newest expansion. It was a huge problem in 5.x where the only dyeable stuff came from an extreme trial. Looks like you won't have that issue this time. It'll be dyeable once you progress to a far enough point, so no headaches. Probably means it starts off as antiquated and becomes unantiquated, so very much welcome change for people. Following items are now dyeable. The old weathered weapons here are all dyeable now. So that's kind of nice. Following items can now be equipped regardless of gender. A huge list of items here that were currently gender locked are now no longer so. In accordance with downscaling, yeah, everything's been adjusted. Yeah, we know. Numbers are different. I'm not going to spend time on that. They also did the same thing here. These are because of downscaling. Piety attributes been removed. Yeah, the fact that there's piety on any of this stuff is weird. It's weird that there's even stats on some of this stuff, because some of this stuff is not, like, expected for you to use. Although, brand new ring, why? Why? Don't do that. I wanted that. Physical and magical defense of Disciple of War gear can be equipped by tank classes has been increased. Oh, that's kind of nice. So that means that I wonder if that actually means they're going to take less damage while leveling, and it's a little bit more encouraged to keep your gear up to date for that. Okay, that might make like low level like tanks not keeping up with gear a little bit more forgiving. If it depends on how it factors into the calculations. Like we don't actually know all the changes from that, but just saying that it was increased probably helps. Yeah, lower item level depending on what is available in your inventory. Okay, yeah, it seems like they just have new player experience in mind based on this and this. Players can no longer cast slots on coffers containing multiple gear pieces if they contain a unique item the player already possesses. Okay, that's fine. Error message that displays when failing to open a chest containing unique items you already possess has been adjusted. Okay. Oh, God. Belts, waste, belts, materia, belts. Hey, belts. Recipes for belts. Belts can no longer be obtained. Belts. Anything else? Oh, look at this. Belts. Oh, look, retrieve obsolete belts. Obsolete belts. Hey, look, belts. Removal of belts. Calculations for average item level have changed. In accordance with the removal of belts. Belts, 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 belts. Look at all the belts. Belts. It's so much patch notes on belts. Belts. Look, it's belts. This one's kind of important, though. The Blitz Ring is the name of the new speed ring item, I suppose, from Pagos. And then it moves on from belts. Okay. There's so many belts. That was like 15%. Look at you, so much. No, it was like 6%. Okay. So sundry splendors have been added to the Crystarium. Okay. This is really nice. So they don't really talk about it much, but so icons indicating required currencies have been added to the drop-down for the item exchange menu. Okay, that's one thing, but look at this item exchange menu. The whole thing behind this. So it looks like they have descriptions of them. By the way, one of my cats just opened the door. Looks like they have descriptions of what the actual vendor is doing and the actual breakdown. So they've done a lot of work on the UI to make some things just look better, navigate better, more clear. Just giving you all the information you could possibly need. So, Aloha. Why? Why are you like this, Aloha? And then you almost got your tail run over because you were right behind my chair. Why would you do this? Cats. Following adjustments have been made to gear exchange for elegant tomes. Gear required exchange can now be obtained directly for poetics. Yeah, this is just saying that all that stuff is now costing poetics. And players who possess base items for such gear may upgrade them in exchange for 100 elegant tomes. And otherwise, all that stuff is going to automatically be augmented. So bear that in mind. The gear that required, can now be obtained. Okay, yeah, it's just bringing it in line with all the old stuff. It's just augmented Crypt Lurker stuff for sale, pretty much. Nerfing the anima weapon randomly. Wait, that's not a 2-point exchange. That's a 3-point exchange. How dare you? New items in the inventory of the Calamity Salvagers. Requirements for buying certain items. All the loosest tools is what I'm seeing right here. Collectibles dealer and Mordona has been removed. Level cap for Disciples of Hand of Land have been increased. Amount of experience points has been adjusted due to downscaling. It's the same thing as before. There's now purple scripts. Those work the same as before. Here are the adjustments, just like the tomestones. It's essentially verbatim how you would interpret tomestones, but for scripts instead. They're just removing the old ones. Then we have the purple ones now at level 90. To increase the functionality of the script exchange menu, categories have been reorganized in a new interface for script type and level rank. Yeah, see, they mentioned the interface change here, but they didn't mention it earlier. But I mean, we got eyes. We could figure it out. It looks nice. I'm a big fan. Oh my goodness. Available menus for the Splendor Npc and Idleshire have been changed to that, which is a significant improvement in terms of visibility and clutter, as you can see from the old stuff. Following adjustments have been made to script tokens. Yeah, this is more the same. No longer obtainable, yada, yada, yada. Flying text will now be displayed when using items or actions that require CP or GP. Not necessary for me, but I'll take it. New actions traits have been added for Disciples of Hand. They didn't go into details on that. For this, it looks like all the Paladin Sword Shield stuff was removed from Blacksmith and Armor, and instead, you now just make a set. Like one craft makes the sword and the shield instead of making them separately. That's a nice change. That's something that they've been meaning to do a lot more with Paladin and their sword and shield. Aloha. Why? Why the door? Why every time the door? Why every time? Why? 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 Anyway, categories under housing and special recipe tab have been adjusted. Okay, that's a lot more options as opposed to the reverse of the other thing. I indicate high quality versions of materials may be used for an initial increase to a recipe's quality. There you go. I got the nice thing. Yeah, does it even mention the fact that we can't gather HQ? Yeah, this is all crafting stuff, so I'd imagine the gathering stuff is down further. Sky Steel tools no longer require high quality stuff to upgrade the tools. That's expected because you can't gather high quality stuff anymore naturally out in the wild. Submitting items to the House of Splendors if you're above level 80. Okay. It's possible to submit collectible fish with a low collectability. Reward upon submissions will be adjusted accordingly. Cool. Type of crafter and gatherer scripts received from custom deliveries has been adjusted. Cool. Possible to submit collectible fish with low collectability. Cool. Due to downscaling of values, progress and quality values in crafting have been adjusted. Makes sense. Responded tool components crafted prior to release will be renamed obsolete. So in other words, they'll be useless. So don't keep them. New actions and traits. Well, obsolete resplendent tools can still be exchanged. So don't, when I say don't keep them, I mean do this thing. So make sure if they're still usable, then you've got this as an option. New actions and traits have been added for Disciple of Land. This is the explanation where there's no longer high quality items that you can gather. You can still craft high quality items, and if an item that needs to be crafted is used as part of another recipe, then you can still get the HQ bonuses, but the very bottom line base materials can no longer be high quality, and instead you'll have a chance of gathering more items. That's what this is indicating. This is Gatherer's Boon, which means you just gather more of that item on a particular hit. All of the changes here are reflected of that. You get more EXP if you proc a Gatherer's Boon. They changed a bunch of the actions, the achievements, new items with specific perception requirements have been added. So there's all sorts of things that have been changed. Vitality has been changed. I wonder if that's going to make them not paper for whatever reason, or if that's just because of the downscaled values. Following adjustments have been made to the gathering log. New items listed under level tabs are now ordered from highest to lowest. Category for the special tab has been adjusted to look a decent bit nicer. Following items are no longer available as high quality. This is just everything I just told you. So, you know, even items via ethereal reduction won't be HQ. Purchases in exchange, all the base materials, just all the base materials won't have HQ anymore. They also made changes to all the quests for that, to fishing for that. Fishing, though, has some additional changes now, as you can see here. To make sure that mooch and everything still works normally. A fish can be labeled as large, and if it's large, then you can mooch it. You know, all the things that required large fishes before, essentially, it just require large fish now. And that's really the only change. So they made changes to the skills to reflect no longer HQ. Instead, it's the odds of getting a large fish. And it's functionally the same, but it'll just look a little bit different. Yeah, functions as a normal quality item. High quality items that can no longer be obtained will contain the message functions as a normal quality item. So no, you're not gaming the system by keeping HQ items for after the patch. They will not be any different. So that's just to bear that in mind. Can no longer be sold on the market board, traded, obtained, or no longer grant increases to recipe quality. All that stuff. This item is normal, and all this stuff is just reflecting that. They may still be submitted for leave quests, but they will provide no bonuses. Bear that in mind. Spearfishing got overhauled. It's now this little mini game. They showed us this during a live letter with your jig equipped. You basically get thrown into a mini game where you stab fish until your wariness fills up past the bar, and then the attempt ends. The fish, they scatter, and it does appear like they are going to be adding new spearfishing spots based on some of the stuff we have a little bit later. 6.x, new teeming waters have been added, so it looks like we are getting our first actual update to spearfishing in a really, really long time. The category names for fishing records and method by which the fish size is recorded have been adjusted. Spearfishing specific fish and locations may grant players spearfishers intuition, which will allow you to locate rare species of fish, and AAA records can now be obtained from certain teeming waters. On top of that, for ocean fishing, these are all changes to large size fish again. Catching a large-sized fish increases your point bonuses by 100%, just like HQ did before. Gullstorm now increases the odds of seeing large-sized fish. And rewards granted are changed as well. Level 90, it can give you purple gatherer scripts as well. New fishing holes have been added, and S-rank records have been added as well. And progress towards fisherman's intuition will remain even after logging out. This is especially useful if you're disconnecting and you're trying to do big fishing, and you can run into an issue. So this will save a lot of people some headaches if they have frequent disconnects. Sale price for fish bait has been reduced. Okay. New tomes of regional folklore, new gathering points, new items from ethereal reduction, new items from the number of items from reduction for the old reductions has been increased. Level cap for desynthesis increased to 580. New mounts. So this isn't the only new mount, in case anybody doesn't know. But by the way, that's hilarious. I can't believe we have to live inside of a level check. This, I'm willing to bet. So we know there's a giant Omega bot somewhere in the expansion. It was in the benchmark trailer, actually. And we don't know what its purpose is. For those who know Omega's story, it's kind of weird to see it in the first place. But what's very likely is that this is a reward from that. That's very likely a super fate that's maybe out in Garlemald, like where we see it in the trailer, maybe not. So don't be too surprised if this comes from that as a super fate item, much like the Ixion mount did from Stormblood, and the little like frog robot from Shadowbringers. There is another new mount that we don't know where it comes from, a giant Paisa. It was on their Instagram page, and you just hug it on the side. I was kind of hoping to see it in the patch notes. It's just a giant Paisa. You just hug it, and it just like jumps around and stuff. It's so weird. I don't know where that's gonna come from, but maybe the Grand Company loot boxes, maybe the cash shop. Who knows? New minions, the crab we saw. Oh, look, it's that thing that was hideous before, but now it's actually cute. Good, we have a cute version of that monstrosity from before. New chocobo barding, new fashion accessories. Those are the pixie wings, of course, out in Il-Meg. New market board to Old Charlian. Nothing fancy there. Following adjustments have been made to retainers. They can be Reapers, they can be Sage, level 90. They can be registered in Old Charlian. And their EXP values have been downscaled and will also be reset if they are partway through a level, just like everything else. New objectives for delivery. This is all standard stuff. Objectives for delivery missions, exploration ventures, number of delivery missions has been increased actually, though. That's kind of nice. Number of items obtaining. I guess that's because you can't get HQ from them anymore, since they are basic gathering materials, so that makes sense. New items from quick exploration. Bonus for gather delivery missions will now be affected by a retainer's perception rating rather than their gatherer rating. Required items, item level or gathering rating required for delivery missions can now be confirmed before selecting the mission. Search recipes when using this material or search for item by gathering method have been added to the sub-command for delivery mission windows for gatherers. Players can now confirm items not recorded in their gathering log when viewing delivery missions. Okay. Achievement window update looks really nice. Can't wait to see what some of the new achievements are. Please no ocean fishing ones. Thank you very much. New achievements and titles. Please no ocean fishing ones. Thank you very much. Following adjustments have been made to teleportation. I don't care about the rest of the patch notes anymore. That's it. This right here, this has been on my wish list for actually like 6 years. Actually 6 years. Always use Aetheryte ticket above this skill amount. Okay. We can just stop here. We don't need to read the rest of the patch notes. It's been done. It's been made. Oh my god. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, all right. I got it. All right. I'll try to finish the video. The go cost for using teleports has been adjusted. A map will now be displayed for the Ethernet destinations. We've seen this already. This looks really nice. Maps will not be displayed when accessing the Ethernet in the following areas: the forbidden exploration areas and the firmament. Okay. World map has been adjusted. Pog. Yeah, it looks nice. The source looking mighty whole. Just get these clouds out of the way real quick, please. Players can now toggle between levels by press. Oh, that's for controllers. LB plus X for controller users. Okay. Following additions have been made to the player search menu. You can search for Reaper and Sage, obviously, and you can also set customs. I have never once had to use this option more than typing in somebody's name. So the fact that they're adding functionality to this, cool. But I don't think I've ever used it for anything other than just typing in someone's first name and clicking execute. Player list will now display. Yeah, we knew this was coming, so it like displays their party number for the target spell. If the target is an enemy, their marker in the enmity list will be displayed. Yeah, we saw all that in a live letter not too long ago. Following additions and adjustments have been made to the party finder. Search results will no longer include parties you cannot join. Yeah, they mentioned this too. 1 player per job. If they already have the job that you are, then it won't display. Which actually I don't like, because sometimes I see that and then I change job and join the party finder. So I don't know. I'm actually not that. So it says settings being enabled. Yeah, no, I hope they add this to be toggleable, because I don't want it to not show at all. I want a better indicator that they already have the job in case I'm dumb and don't actually read very well. Pure healer and barrier healers can now be specified. Yeah, they told us they were going to do that. When a party member withdraws from a duty that is about to start, other party members will also receive a notification that a penalty has been incurred upon the player who withdrew. That's to let people know that that even happens in the first place. So consider that part of the education system. Ether Compass has been moved to the collection menu. I'm actually a fan of that. Cool. Big fan of that, because it's so stupid the way that it works now. Should have just been there since they added the collection menu. So thank goodness for that. HP bars displaying when incapacitated. Not a huge fan. I turned that off on purpose, so I kind of don't want that there. Another thing I hope they make toggleable. Conditional enhancement categories have been added to the HUD, so you can separate them for better control over your user interface. Sweet. Following additions and adjustments have been made to ground targeting. The cursor speed has been changed. Option to prevent the cursor from moving beyond the target range. Turning that on immediately. Option to execute the action by pressing the action a second time. I don't know. I might turn that on. And text command to execute ground target without entering ground targeting mode. That's big for controller players in particular. Right-clicking with the mouse or pressing X with the controller will automatically select high-quality or collectible items. Okay. Accordance with the new level cap increase, the conditions that must be met for your new adventure status to be removed have been adjusted. 300 hours? My god, there are definitely going to be level 90 people that have this status still. Not completed the main scenario quest, Death Unto Dawn. Okay, that's fine. It's whichever one of these takes longer, as a reminder. So, bear that in mind, if you don't want to turn it off manually, that is. The bonus to experience points when a mentor forms a party will now apply until level 80. Okay. In accordance with the increased level cap, the requirement for new mentors have been adjusted. Level 90, level 90, level 90, 1,000, 1,500. Okay. And then for Disciple of Hand or Land, 90, 90, 100, 300. All right. Mentor renewal. You must get your renewal. Please, if you're not a good mentor, just don't renew. That's all I'm asking. Please just don't. And you know if you're a bad one. You know. I believe you know. I know you don't care. You just want the crown. Just don't renew. That's all I'm asking. Just don't do it. New dungeons in Explorer mode. Nice. All of the Stormblood leveling dungeons are there. Instance dungeons introduced with 6.0 will also be in Explorer mode as well. Following changes have been made to group pose. Can now be initiated when using performance actions, as you can see with the bard here. Can now be initiated when undertaking a duty as an NPC ally or when transformed into them. New frames, new stickers. NPCs that accompany you in certain quests can be set as targets. Yeah, they mentioned this during one of the most recent live letter. Oh, duty recorder instances have changed, huh? Tower of Paradigm's Breach and 2 hidden trials. Cool. What a great feature. Let's see. When selecting items being sold by your retainer, the options search for item by crafting method have been added to the subcommand menu. Okay. Active help when linked to active help. Okay. Error message displayed when trying to send a player in another world who's not registered you as a friend has been adjusted. Okay. Players can now disable resizing of the chat window via mouse drag. Okay. In order to reduce server congestion, following measures will be implemented. This is important. We will continue to monitor server activity and remove these features when server... Oh, so this is the normal stuff. Players who are inactive for 30 minutes will be logged out automatically, and new areas will be split into multiple instances. Quite frankly, this isn't all they need to do. There are ways around certain things that they should probably more actively, maybe rolling restarts on the servers occasionally might be of benefit, so they may wish to consider that. Features of the Dualsense wireless controller can now be used on the Windows version for DirectX 11. That's PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 controllers. Now their functionality works as if they're plugged into a PlayStation. So that is pretty nice. But you do need the USB connection as opposed to a Bluetooth connection, as it would appear. That not all features are available when using a Windows Bluetooth connection. There you go. That includes haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, sound effects via built-in speaker, rumble, and the sound effects via built-in speaker. Support for embodies immersed spatial audio. This is the new audio thing. You can buy it separately, and then it like installs it into your Final Fantasy XIV client. Good news. Couple hours before the expansion actually goes live, Embody actually gave me a couple codes to give away. So I'll be giving those away just before the servers go live on Friday morning. So, and I'll be trying it out myself as well. I just got to send them a picture of my ear real quick, and then I can get that working ASAP. So thank you to Embody for those giveaways. I'm looking forward to trying it out myself and seeing how it sounds, what the difference is. Additions have been made to system and then this is just to enable that. It's a new, once you have it installed, then you have those new options. Following options have been added to the character config. Display character portraits from battle dialogue widget, PvP opponents, target tab, limit ring movement to targeting range. Oh yeah, these are all things from like before. They're just reiterating them now. Ride pillion, that's to get on somebody's mount and then pick the seat, as it would appear right here. Slash patch note opens the patch notes page on the official site. Yo, can I just get this like being posted in shout chat every like 5 minutes, please? Can I like I'm please? Can I just somebody just have an NPC that posts it occasionally in shout chat? Just be like, looking to know what's different? Type slash patch note. For the love of God, please. Slash pet glamour. Oh, so interesting. Slash pet glamour as opposed to Eggy Glamour. Although Eggy Glamour is still here, they've renamed it. I can't help but notice that it's been renamed. So it looks like you can still... This was actually a genuine question, if even just Eggy Glamour was still in the game. Alter the appearance of select summons. You must resummon the Eggy for effect and not applicable. So it functions the same, essentially. Or at least it would appear that way here. And oh! And this... Oh, okay, so maybe that's the main reason why? Okay, because now it's /pet size, but that's because it applies to everything. Yo, where's my calamity size? I want to make them bigger than they currently are. I don't want large, medium, or small. I want calamity size, all right? I want Bahamut to be the same size he is in turn 13. So, can we just get that in the game real quick? So, just saying. Enemy PC has been added as a subcommand for the battle tech. Okay, Gtov has been added as a placeholder, or get off. Bypass ground targeting mode and be executed immediately. I think I hear Ivy trying to open the door again, if I'm not mistaken. System sound speaker for wireless controller sound settings. In-game text commands will no longer show information for emotes you have not yet unlocked. Additions have been made to the auto translation dictionary. Additions have been made to the autocomplete dictionary. New trophies for 6.x. That's actually pretty exciting for PlayStation players. Sound engine has been improved to more easily discern sound effects when a large group of players are present. New music, sound effects, and voices have been added in preparation for the Oceanian. There we go. I wanted to say Oceanic. Oceanian. Okay, data center. They've added it to the screen. They've made the adjustment for it. So don't forget that's going to be in February. UI resolution set to high. We'll also use the high resolution fonts. Okay. Additions and adjustments have been made to the game launcher. Design has been changed. Theme settings have been added. Light and dark theme have been added. Oh, thank goodness. Dark theme. Thank goodness. An option to restore game data has been added for Windows. Recommended when encountering gameplay or launch errors. So there's a proper repair button now. That's a good thing to have. Don't just realize we didn't have that up till now. Title screen has been changed for Endwalker, and Reaper and Sage have been added to the solo raid. The final thing. Why is this all the way at the bottom? Why would you leave that all the way for the bottom? You couldn't have put that someplace else. Come on, man. Well, at least it's there, so can't complain very much. All right, with that, that covers our preliminary patch notes. Mostly it's pretty standard patch notes because they're missing some of the big... They're trying to hide the things that they don't want us to see. So it's not really that much a surprise, but it's our first peek. It's our reminder that it's very close. It's real. It's here. It's Friday. Well, it will be Friday. So please look forward to it. I'm going to record a quick video on the locations for Reaper and Sage, and then I got some shiny hunting to do in Pokemon, because I'm not going to have that much time to do that over the next couple of weeks, unless the queues are just that bad. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. Thank you to my Twitch chat for letting me do this while I'm live. Not like they have a choice. It's my stream anyway. Get over it. But thanks for watching. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned. We'll have plenty of Endwalker related content coming on the channel. With that, I'll see you in the next one. Until then.